Welcome to Soundwave, the podcast that covers the behind the scene production and meaning of your favorite albums.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Brian. We all enjoy music and diving deep into what we all love about music. But most importantly, what is the best music to play during a solo sesh or even a kickback with your friends?
Drugs, sex, and alcohol have all been known to be inspirations for many musicians. We now see how drugs and psychedelics are now creating their own genre through these musicians. And we're here to talk about it and take a trip with you as we explore today's album, Chicano Batman, self-titled Chicano Batman, their album from 2010. I just saw them actually like last night with Interwave. It was like Interwave opening and then Chicano Batman as like the main performance. And honestly, they were really good. Like they had like some good songs like playing and like everyone was like super into it and like they went hard. Like it was really cool to see them like live.
Are we talking about Interwave or Chicano
Oh,
Batman?
sorry, Chicano Batman. Like both of them, but like Chicano Batman. Because like I've listened to
Yeah,
them for like so long and I've just like I've never seen them like live or any of like videos of them performing at all.
yeah,
So I thought it was really
yeah.
really cool to see. And like dude, like their singer, he like kicked the mic stand. He did like he like ripped off his sweater he was wearing. He had a t-shirt. He was like swinging it around. Like it was really cool.
Damn, I really missed out, huh?
No, I got the tickets like that afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No,
and
I
like
checked and apparently it was sold out already.
it was sold out. There's like these people behind us. They're like, "Hey, you need a ticket? You need a ticket? Like we have an extra." Like they were trying to sell them as they were like in line.
Yeah.
But like I just went to like the comments like on their Instagram and I was like looking for tickets for tonight, whatever. And like some people messaged me. Some of them were like trying to scam me, but I found this guy and he was really cool. And um even before like the end of the show or like when it ended, he's like, "Can you buy me a t-shirt?" And I was like, "Dude, yeah." And I was like, "I'm gonna ship it out to him." Because he was really cool and he
Yeah.
was really nice, like with the
Oh,
ticket.
he couldn't make it?
He couldn't make it. The dude said he got like his wisdom teeth removed, and I was like, "Oh, shut up!" And I was like, "Give me your ticket."
Oh my
So I
God.
got his tickets.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that was nice.
It was honestly
Regular
really.
price
I was
or
like,
discount?
I would, no, I still had to pay like what he was asking because I was like trying to hassle him, but I was like, "Come on, like
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, dude, I'm sorry," because like there's more people like willing to pay like his full price and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah. Uh, no, I just saw them too. It was at the shrine. It was with Crumb. Inner Wave was supposed to open up
it
as
was
well.
back in like November, huh?
Yes. Inner Wave was supposed to open up, but then
I was supposed
they
to go,
they
yeah.
dropped them. No, I that experience from last night, I bet it was quite fun because me remembering that November experience at the shrine, it was amazing. Like I was like, wow, like I am so happy I got to see these guys like way before they got like even bigger because once
Yeah.
they're at the top, yeah, I don't know about this ticket prices anymore. But
Dude,
no, it was definitely
yeah.
worth it going to see them like finally. Like, can you tell us a bit more about your experience last night?
Yeah, so like where we were, I guess the tickets were balcony. I didn't know. I'm kind of glad we got balcony though. I wanted GA like pit, and it wasn't like
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't see no mosh pits. I was like, I don't know if you can mosh to like their music. I was hoping like no one would start one, but I'm glad it wasn't too crazy. We were like up on the balcony, and it's kind of similar to like the Fonda and like how they have like their like upper level like in a stadium like seating type. So we went.
Yes.
We didn't sit down because I went with my brother and he's like, I don't want to sit down at a concert. And I was like, yeah, me either. So we went to the top and there was like this edge. And so we kind of stood by like a rail and it was really cool. And then like we were able to sit if we wanted to and still be able to see. But we stood the whole
Yeah.
time and like the opener wasn't like too crazy. Like everyone really liked it. It was a little more like like upbeat with like good bass lines. But once like Chicano came out and stuff like that, like everyone was like, "Ah." Like there's a couple girls, like you could see them standing up, like they're getting really into it. And it was really cool to see like everyone was like singing too. Like I took a couple videos and like there was like a bunch of people like singing, like I'm playing them back, and like it's just like the crowd like word for word like matching it. And it was really cool. But how was it when they played in like November? How was that? Like, because I know it was like three bands.
Yeah, it was on Los Retros,
Oh yeah.
Cram, and then Chicana. I didn't. Well, first of all, it was in LA. The Shrine, which is like the worst place to find parking, unless you're like willing to pay those extra money for that parking structure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But that's like buying a whole new another ticket.
Yeah,
Anyways,
dude. Honestly,
um,
those they
so because of
tax.
that, yeah. So because of that, I ended up missing those retros. So sorry, guys. Can't really speak on you guys. But if you guys have any shows upcoming, y'all already know to hit us up for them tickets. um, and then Crumb, I managed to see them. I actually got there right as they were starting. Oh my god, that was an amazing performance by them. Like top tier. And then it was time for Los Angeles to experience Chicano Batman. In first of all, the Shrine is pretty huge. Like if you really put it into perspective, it's it's really huge. And plus, it's a two-story level, so there's also viewing from the sidelines,
Oh, okay.
which is yeah. So you can already see there's a lot of people. And here's the thing: they play their two shows because the first show ended up selling out, which was on a Thursday, I believe, and they added a second show for Wednesday. So I ended up going to that one because I'm like, yes. And oh my god! Right as they started performing, I was like, oh my god, this is actually happening. Like,
It's so
I'm,
cool. 'Cause, yeah. Like I feel like oh you've heard of them, but like I've never heard of them going on tour. And then they haven't released like any like recent music. I think like their last single was like Black Lipstick, and it says let me see. It was like 2015. Like you
no,
know.
they actually
Yeah,
just released a new song, a new album this past year. Well, actually, 2020,
they did.
which I was going through it, and I because straight
Oh
up,
yeah, you're right.
I start off by like the song that really catches me, and from there I listen to the album. Then I go after that,
Yeah.
but it does take me a time because I like to appreciate each piece of music because it's literal art for your ears.
Yeah, honestly,
Um,
and like their visuals too on their albums, like they're really cool. I like their album cover for like Freedom is Free too. And like
yes,
it's just so
okay.
cool.
They performed a lot of songs that night at the Shrine from Freedom of the Tree, and prior to me actually like wanting to see them live, because like you said, we hear about these guys so many times because one, they're from LA, so that's like
Yeah.
that's the best part. Two, at the time, well, at least when I started to hear them, they were still a local band.
That's cool.
And yeah, so this is back in like 2017, 16. Maybe not so local, but
They were
yeah,
small. They had
so
like a
yeah, they
smaller
were there.
following.
Yeah, definitely not what I
What it
ended
is
up
now.
witnessing that night. And oh my god, these guys are just like I said, oh my god, this is actually happening. Because once they start performing, there's just this atmosphere that goes throughout the whole room, and everybody's just they just start vibing. Because one thing about Chicano Batman is that they're really groovy, especially in the drums. Like,
Yeah.
sure, it they do a lot of psychedelic uh, harmonies within the guitars, but when you really want to pay attention to the Chicano Batman, which is really something that is something you hear a lot in the latest album of Invisible People. Their drumming is beyond amazing. Like they really take time
No, yeah.
perfecting the drumming. Like any band can play a simple 4 beat, right? But I don't know. There's just something
Yeah.
about Chicano Batman that makes it so much Oh wow, like this is
It's like the
groovy.
little touches, like they just throw it in there, and like just like I think
Yeah.
it's really cool. Like when I was there last night, like just watching, like you're seeing each part of the song like being played, and then like they went on like these like minute long like little like melody or like what is it called? Like oh my god, they were just
Solo.
jamming. Yeah, like these little like they were just going and it was so cool and it was so crazy and like they're just like you press like the pedals and stuff like that on the guitars and then like you'd hopped on the keyboard like he like flipped the mic stand like I said and I was like dude and it was just so cool to see it like I took my brother and he listened to a couple songs. Like he knows a couple songs from like what I've played, but he really liked them. And he was like, honestly, like I'd listen to them and like I know they're performing at Coachella and my brother's going to Coachella. So he's like, I think I'm gonna try and make their set.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
gonna be
Like,
amazing.
like that's fire. Like I put him on and I was like, let's just go with me. Like I can't find anyone to go. Like just go with me. And he's like, okay, like fine. And so we're driving and he's like, I listened to like one song. And I was like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's fine. Like, no one's gonna know. Like, when you're there, no one's gonna like, no one's gonna be like, are you a fan? Like,
Yeah, see,
okay.
in addition to that, here's one thing about going to concerts to whoever's listening. One, everybody's going there to have fun. Two, nobody cares whether you listen to them or not. You're there and you're about to enjoy whatever's going to happen.
Yeah.
Two, just enjoy the time there because literally everybody's in their own world enjoying the moment while you think they're probably you on the side. No, they don't even care about you. To be honest,
Yeah.
not to be an a-hole about it, but they don't even acknowledge your existence during that time because they're in their own world, literally enjoying something
Like
that they
everyone
came to
else is
see.
like minding their own business, jamming, like like the way you're dancing, like people were dancing, like we are dancing,
Yeah,
and like they played what song did they play? It was like one of my favorite ones from their self-titled. It was like the La Manzanita.
yeah,
I really like that one. And um it's like really like I don't know, like like the twang like that they have in like his voice. Or like some of their voices,
yes.
it's like like it's like that. Like that's how like the song goes. And it's really cool. And like honestly, I was like, even my mom would really like it, like, because she listens to like the cumbias and like the Spanish music. And like, I was showing her some of like the videos that I took, and she was like, I like it. And I was like, even at the concert,
That's
I was with my brother.
funny.
I was like, how do you think my mom would be like recording right now? Because she goes to like she follows this
Know
band
exactly what you mean. I
she
know
follows this
exactly what
band around and she'll go and watch them and like they like posted her like recording them and it was so funny and she's just like dancing and holding her phone like she's having a good old time and I was
you
like this is how my mom would be and then like I was like dancing like her and then I was like I should have just brought my mom
mean.
'cause
Actually,
she would have
that's
really
quite
liked
funny because the whole reason I ended up going to the November one was because I was taking my dad to it. He couldn't make it due to because he works, and this was, I believe, like during the week. So yeah, he was tired, and for him to go back because he works everywhere, like whatever they need him, and sometimes he's in LA. And this time we were past LA, actually, way past. We are like by the A18,
oh
which is
wow
really out there,
yeah
and then to come back here to the San Gabriel Valley, just to go back to LA, it's like I'm
it's like
tired.
all
So,
over
so yeah, so I really couldn't take him. So, oh, here's where everybody's gonna hate me. I ended up getting the two tickets, right?
mm-hmm.
I couldn't find anybody to take, so I ended up just going. Oh, I was gonna take my little brother, but during that time they were requiring vaccination proof and blah blah blah. But since he was still under 11, he couldn't get his vaccination,
Yeah
or I needed a negative. But I'm like, bro, like this is so last minute. So sadly, I couldn't take him. So I ended up going to the show by myself. Well, I mean, a friend went, but he already had his tickets. So I had a
you just had
ticket
an
literally
extra
there. And I'm like, wow, somebody could have enjoyed it. And I tried giving it away, but I doubt anybody got it by the time I posted it up.
Yeah,
Because there are times, whenever I go to shows, I always get the tickets because I like, well, for one, sometimes I don't like driving, so I'm like, hey, like if you drive, you get the ticket.
that's
I'm
cool.
like,
Okay.
really, even fair deal. But there are times where I can't literally find anybody. I'm like, all right, cool.
I'm like, I'll
And
drive.
sadly, that day I couldn't find anyone, and I ended up going. Well, that ticket got lost. I didn't get used. But regardless, um, going back to your mom, that's funny because that's how I introduced my mom to them. Like she listens to them when I'm always listening to music in the kitchen because I'm working.
Yeah.
And one of the songs that came up was Magma, which
Mm-hmm.
is
They
my
played that
favorite
one.
song. Yeah, that's my favorite song. That one and Black Lipstick. So I'm always
Yeah.
listening to them, and they're like, "Hey, like this is Spanish music." I'm like, "Yeah," because okay, so the guitarist, there's this genre like in the Mexican culture that sounds just like this, except it's in Spanish. Like you can literally
Yeah.
sing this in Spanish, and they will be like, "Hey, this is from my time," and then they'll be like, "You'll come like, actually, this is from now." And like, what? That sounds
Yeah.
exactly like that,
That's how
and
my
that's how I
mom
got my mom
is.
into it.
Yeah. I was like, Mom, I was like, you would have had a good old time. I was like, I don't know why you didn't go. But
Yeah,
she got home from work kind of late. And so she's like, I'm a little tired. But I was like, honestly, like, I was like, you want to go to Coachella? I was like, they're going to be. I'm like down.
girls night
And
out.
that wasn't even like, they played like a little, I want to say like 10-ish songs. I didn't really keep count. But I'm sure they played some from like the new album. But it didn't seem like anyone really like some people knew, but not too many people knew like the new songs. Like honestly,
Yeah, majority of the people are from like the first three albums, maybe the second and third.
yeah, yeah, because I know like they played Cycles of Existential Rhyme. I heard that one, and
Yeah.
then they didn't play Magma. They played
No,
no,
did you leave before it ended? Like,
no,
cause
no. I was there like the whole time. They even went on for like an
cause
encore, but
yeah,
like
and
they didn't play it.
the November one, it was they played it as encore for like literally laughs.
Yeah,
Damn.
but they went hard. I was like, I know they're tired. Like they were going all out, and then they played Coachella weekend one like this weekend,
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's it.
I know. I was like, maybe I might go. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But honestly, like I've been listening to them for like a while, so like I said, like not seeing a tour or like a not too recent like album, I was like, dang, like am I ever gonna see them? You know? And then like I feel like that goes for like a lot of bands because a lot of bands
Yeah,
lately, like yeah, they'll release a single or two, but they're not really like going on tour, you know? And I like going to shows. And even like when it's like the smaller venues like that and it's not like what used to be like the Staples Center or like what is it, the Anaheim like stadium, whatever, like the Honda Center or something like that.
yeah,
Like it's not like stadiums, you know? They're still like
yeah.
within reach, if that makes sense, like type of venues, you
Definitely.
know?
There's still in the area where you can spend the money for the tickets. You don't have to like
I'll
sacrifice
have to
yourself for
like
that.
put away a whole check for like a pair of tickets.
Yeah, no, man.
Mhm.
There's some artists that really, well, it's not even the artist's fault sometimes, but all these ticket sales people,
Yeah.
they they charge too much for the fees. Like there are times when I went to see Metallica, my ticket was like 150, and then I believe I paid like $50 of just fees.
Yeah. I'm like, why is it like 30 bucks, 50 bucks, whatever, like in fees, like just fees alone. And then they're like, oh, it's
Yeah,
less for like an electronic ticket, like to scan, rather than like will
yeah,
call. And I was like, why is will call like $6?
definitely.
I was like, I like keeping like the little ticket stubs. I really do.
Yeah,
But like at what cost?
I think so.
Oh, like at what cost am I gonna keep up
Yeah.
with like stuff?
No, that's crazy. So going back to this, what would you say is one of your favorite songs from Chicano Batman?
I would say the one that they played, the La Manzanita, just because of the way it sounds. Like I just like I think it's funny. I thought it was so funny, and then everyone's just like jamming out. Like you could see like the like everyone moving like to the song, and like I don't know. That's always like one that like I'll never skip it. I guess like it's something like I'll even replay it
Yeah.
sometimes. Like I won't skip it. I really like it.
Okay. So I just went back to listening to it, just that intro. I'm not even like 10 seconds in, and I
Yeah.
already know like this this is something I'm gonna show my mom. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have shown it to my mom. Oh my god, that's funny, dude. This is exactly Spanish music. Like
Like let me see. I
this
had
is something I could put at a party, Mexican party, and be jamming to it. And they'd be
and
like,
no
"Wait,
one's
who's
gonna be
this
like,
again?"
yeah. Let me see.
Yeah,
Or what's
it's
another
nice.
one? I really like I think they played part of a hundred dead and loving souls. They played like a little part of it. Like they didn't go too like crazy. No, oh wait. They might have played the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played like the ending. No, I think they played it. I'm like 99.9% sure they played it.
Yeah.
But it was really
99,
yeah, I was like,
99.9. I think that's close to 100.
but it
No,
was really cool
that's
hearing
nice.
it.
It's got that whole 70s Mexican style rock. Not rock, but like, those ballads that they listen to, like Rigo Tobar would be the best.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who that is, but if you listen to Chicano Batman, Rigo Tobar is basically the Spanish version of this
Yeah.
artist here. Because this is straight up like my mom won't even know the difference until you start singing.
Huh. And like honestly, I don't know if you heard of like the Beach Goons, but like they have like a similar like like
Yeah,
the like I don't know how to describe it, but like in his voice, like you hear like an accent or like the way like the accent comes through with like the singing. Like you know how like okay, like some British people like when they sing like they don't have an accent, whatever.
yeah,
Like the accent carries over like with Spanish music like this, you
yeah.
know? And then like so with Beach Goons, like he has like the singer has his own like little like whine to his voice that's pretty similar, but it's more like indie punk like songs. And it's super interesting. Like I feel like that's like my best comparison like voice like vocal wise when comparing like another artist like that's like that. But
Damn.
it's super interesting to hear like how I feel like the more like Spanish artists and stuff like that, they're breaking out into like different genres. Like it's like indie, garage band like punk and like rock and it's not just like banda and like the cumbias and like all that stuff. It's like going into more like genres. It's like permeating its way into like kind of like spreading in like little touches here and there like
It's basically it's Mexican genre with like an indie touch to it.
yeah, basically, you know? And it's so cool. And then like I just like I was like, okay, like if I'm playing music like at home, like this is something I could play. My mom won't be like, skip it, you know, like
Yeah, definitely.
because like I'll listen to more of like the slower indie music or like, you know, it just kind of has like the same beat, like the drums or something like that. Like a lot of like their beats sound the same, I guess. And so
Yeah,
like, you know, it gets a little repetitive and my mom won't be like, "Ugh, like it's the same song again, you know? Because like she's very picky. She's very picky. But she was like the bands that she grew up with was like Mana and like Santana. Like I'm literally wearing like her Santana t-shirt she had when she was like my age.
oh my gosh, antennas. Like,
So she
okay,
was
so
like,
basically,
yeah.
if you guys really want to know what the music Mexican style, it's basically Santana,
Yeah.
but like the Spanish lyrics, and
Like
that's literally what Spanish music is.
the guitar
And
ballads and everything like that. Like,
yeah,
like they go on, it's like into a little tangent, but like like they're jamming like when they're recording this or like when they're playing shows. It's like
yeah,
they're like you just see the movement in their body and like you see like the head nods and like the head bobs and like they're into it.
I think what really transfers that whole Mexican style within this indie that really fits, I guess, the same category now is sure you have the guitar, drums, bass, and all, but the keys, the organs is what really. It's like wow, it's so relatable and it's crazy and just amazing how it all fits together, how it really like pulls everything together, and it's like oh, we vibe and like this ain't just a simple rock song that you're out here
Yeah.
listening to. No, like with that whole piano organ, it's just like, oh, orale,
Yeah,
like
I
the party's
it
about to
comes
start.
through. It comes through and it says like they came from LA. They formed in 2008 and it's like it says like genres ranging from like psychedelic soul, funk,
Yeah,
indie, progressive, like rock and stuff like that. And like their influences like bonding over
I
like 60s Brazilian artists. Like that's fire. Like, just like the 60s, like, like that kind of like psychedelic rock that was going on. Like they're picking
hell
and
yeah,
choosing what aspects they want to use and like kind of recreate or reinvent in their songs. I think it's super
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
You can really hear all of that in the
Yeah, you can.
accident.
And like
Yeah,
just watching him like play like the organ, like the keys and stuff like that, you can hear it and like you can like he's going from one side of the keyboard, sliding it over, and like I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude's going hard. It was so cool to see. Honestly, that's why I love concerts
yeah.
because it's like it's
I'm
showing
regretting
you
not
what you're
singing
hearing.
them.
Yeah, it's showing you what you're hearing basically, and it's really cool.
Yeah, that's what I love about it too. Because sure, you can listen to a track on iTunes, on compress and everything, in the highest quality with a surround system, but
Yeah,
you'll never get the actual them. Like you, you're gonna hear the same audio every single time, but when you're listening live, I swear to you, you can literally feel that feeling as he plays guitar, and every single note you can feel the emotion in it, the vocals, the strain in his voice as he sings, the
yeah,
bass, that grooviness, that just oh, you can feel it in your body, and then those drums just like jumping out all funky. It's like oh damn, like you really can appreciate every single instrument there,
yeah,
and especially there are times when they just play like, or even when they just pause by themselves and you hear them not even playing that part anymore. You're like, oh wow, like you can really appreciate why that part is there in the beginning
Mhm.
and how great it sounds all together.
It's so cool. Like like there's some parts like you miss like with headphones, without headphones. Like I've noticed that too. But then
Yeah,
like I said it like it's seeing it live, like you see like the movement and like I guess the complexity of it, like, like you don't see them performing when you're listening to like the music like on your headphones, you know?
yeah,
Like seeing it is just is so cool. It's just I don't know. It's just like a whole different like environment too. And then like we were up pretty high in like the stadium or like not the stadium, but like the venue.
the
But
balcony. Yeah,
I was like, dude, like, how when you're in the pit, whatever, and you feel like the bass in your chest?
yeah.
I was like, I could feel it from like up here. I was like, my chest is like vibrating. But it was so cool, like everyone was super chill too. It wasn't like a crazy crowd, like other concerts, like even like the Red Pairs, they had like a, a mosh pit, and I was like, yo, like I didn't expect to be in a mosh pit, and I got cut up, and I was like, get me out of here.
Shout out to the Red Pears. They're from the San Gabriel Valley, based in El Monte. Man, these guys are one of the coolest dudes that I've met. Fun fact, I used to hang out with them when they were like still local. We hung up a couple of times at their practice part spot too. Went out a couple times. Actually, quite funny. We're speaking about the Beach Goons earlier. We went out to Danny's together. Beach Goons, the Red Pears. Oh, what man, I swear, those moments were just me enjoying life, but in reality, now looking back into it, it's like, wow, I I got to spend this time with these dudes that I upcoming, like really huge now.
Yeah.
And I didn't even notice at the time. At the time, I'm like, yeah, I'm hanging out with the friends, with Henry, with Jose, with man, and then Beach King comes around, and it's like at the time they're like, oh yeah, they're just the homies. They're around here. I'm like, oh, cool. And then once actually, as time went on, I'm like, oh wow, like these guys ended up becoming huge.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you know these bands as they are upcoming, and then once you realize they're playing Viva Fest at the Dodger Stadium. Shout out to Red Paris if you guys
Yeah.
want to go check them out at Viva Fest. They're playing there at the Dodger Stadium, or when they performed at Coachella. That was a like huge milestone for not only them, but like coming from the San Gabriel Valley from El Monte. It's like wow, like finally our hometown. They there are artists coming from here, and especially going to school with them. It's like you never
Crazy
expect
to
this to
see.
actually happen, but
Wow.
you are so proud of them for actually achieving what they have and are doing.
Yeah.
So now to see, because it's funny, adding to that, and the reason I brought that up is because when I started checking out Chicano Batman, I read several comments in their music saying, "Oh, this guy was my substitute teacher during this time, and he would like promote his band to us and stuff like that." And it was funny, but now looking back into that, I'm like, "Damn fool, Chicano Batman was the teacher. Like, how can you
Like
comprehend
that's
that?"
cool. That's cool. Like
Yeah,
imagine. I know one of my teachers, what's it called? He was like a sub, like a long-term sub, and he has like a punk band, like one of those like screamo bands. And like he's like, you guys get to follow me once I'm done being your teacher. And I looked him up. I was like, this dude's crazy. Like he goes hiking. He's got like this band on the side, and I was like, I want to go to one of his shows and like support him, but I'm scared because like I don't know. I don't see myself like getting into like that type of like screamo music, you know, like and
do you
like
recall the band name?
let me see. I wanna let me pull it up.
That's funny.
But
That's really fun.
I was like, he's going off, and we didn't even know. Repeat
Yeah,
offender. Shout out to repeat offender. I
don't
think
shut them out.
they have a
Make sure you
show
follow them.
May 7th in San Fernando. But I
Beat
was like,
offender, right?
that's crazy. But yeah, he was my teacher. I guess he's in
Wow.
two bands. I don't know. I don't know. He's been posting though.
I am. May 7th.
And I was like, Mr. Chacon. I was like, go off. But he's so cool. Like he goes hiking. He told us how he goes hiking. He's like, I have a band. He's like, I'm a singer of a band, but I'm not gonna tell you the name. And I was like, why not? And he's all tatted, but he would always wear long sleeves and like tie and everything like that. Like of course, because he's like a teacher. But one time,
Yeah.
like his sleeve went a little up, and everyone's like, "You have tattoos?" Like he's giving us a little spice, and we're asking questions, and he's like, "Okay, back to the book, whatever." He's like, "Back to whatever we're talking about." He's like, "You guys have to pass your class, like otherwise they're not gonna let me sub again." Honestly, he was so cool. Shout out to Mr. Chacon, because without him, I wouldn't be in college.
Hey,
He helped me out my
definitely shout
senior
out to all these mentors for them
year.
coaches.
But
Well,
it's so cool, like how they just had like regular jobs and then like they're like, I want to pursue music, and like they honestly like they took a risk, and like thank God it worked, like they had the
Yeah,
opportunity to like basically live out their dream, because a lot of people want to tour and make it big, but they don't get like the exposure. They don't, like, something just doesn't work out, and they were fortunate enough to like, like make it.
yeah,
And they have like a really unique sound to them too. I've never really like come across anything that has this type of sound with like the traditional, like, like Spanish music, Mexican music, and like with the organ and stuff like that. Like even my mom was like, "Oh, it sounds like the music I listened to." Like when she was like younger, like even with like the older artists that have that type of sound, but they're kind of making it like for the younger generation of like the Mexicans, like the mixed people, like, like, and they're from LA. And I think it's really cool like seeing people from like where you kind of grew up around like make it with, I don't know, like that, just that vibe. It really works. It's really cool.
yeah. It's amazing. Damn.
Let me see. Let me look something up, like their history or something.
Shout out to everybody that's following their dreams right now because you don't want to regret it later. Um,
Yeah. I feel like once a band starts getting like popular, it's hard to kind of like, I guess, like see them like in a smaller venue or in just like closer.
Speaking about a popular band and singing with a smaller venue, everybody's gonna hate me for this, but you know what? Probably won't even tell that part. But funny thing, um, there's this venue called the Echo, I believe, in LA.
Yeah.
Echo something, I forget. I think it's just called Echo. um, damn, I just went down which band it is. Uh, but there was this huge band that, man, I gotta go to the band quickly. They sing a song called Chinese Fountain. The
Oh, the
Growlers, there
Growlers.
it is.
Yeah, I like
Okay,
the Growlers too. I want to see
so
them.
the Growlers is a huge band, especially here in Los Angeles. Um, I believe they were celebrating their 10th year, and they did a show that cost $10 a ticket because that's the
Yeah.
regular price for tickets at the Echo because it's a really small venue. So um, that day, I decided to just go on my social media and I saw that post and it said, "Oh, goes live at 10 a.m." And it was like 9:55. I'm like, "Oh, what a coincidence!" Damn. I went on the site, quickly snagged 2 tickets because there was only limited tickets, and yeah, I went to see the Growlers for $20. Well, $10 a piece.
That's not bad. That's honestly really good. I know
Well,
they always do like a
the regular
Halloween show.
tickets, yeah, the regular tickets are like $80 and above. So, and they were like really huge during this time. Like they were like really popping. Like
You got a deal.
they were everywhere. So for me to get that, yeah, that was a really cool experience.
Or you know what? Los Lobos. Have you heard of them too?
I've heard of them. Yes, yes, yes.
So that's where I feel like my mom listened to that too. And I like a lot of the time we called it like our vacation song, like that type of music. Cause my dad was kind of like weird and he was like, I don't want you playing that at the house, whatever. And so whenever we'd go on vacation, my mom would get aux because she's like, I don't want to listen to the radio. So she would play like her music, and like it was kind of like the rock, like Mexican music. So my dad was like okay with it. He was more into like the rock scene and stuff like that. And so like Los Lobos is like another band that they remind me of too, like
Yeah,
the like I guess like the 21st century version of like that 60s, like 70s, like rock Mexican music,
yeah.
right?
Any other artists do you think that sounds like that? Like what other artists are out there right now that currently sound like that?
So like it's like those bands, like with my mom, like growing up, it was like Mana, and like Santana and like Los Lobos, like it's all like that same type of vibe because like they all have like similar sounds, but they all have like maybe they have like a little more drum or like they like where the lyrics, like you pay attention to the lyrics more. But honestly, I don't speak Spanish. Like I'm not fluent. So like when I'm listening to like Spanish music, I don't know what the words can be. Like I don't know. Sometimes like I'm like I only got to Spanish 2 in high school, and I was like done. But a lot of the time, like I'll listen to the beat because that's all I can pay attention to.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm not gonna Google Translate the whole song, or maybe I will if I really like it. I want to make sure like what I'm listening to is like okay. But, you know
Yeah.
but I think they capture like that type of like that era, and like they're just kind of redoing it and making it work for like our generation, like our generation of like mana and whatever is like these bands that we're seeing like now at our age, and I think it's super cool, like all the new music and the new artists that like are kind of representing like the Latino community and stuff like that, like even like um what's it called, like the bachata, like I didn't know like that was like a thing, and like just seeing like there's a whole like crowd for that too, like even like for 20 somethings. I think it's so cool, and like people are dressing up in like their hats, they got the boots, and I was like, "Shit, let me get a pair of boots and I'll go try it." Let me get my heels on. I think it's so cool because like I feel like that's more like super like I don't know, like me personally, like my mom, she came from Mexico, my dad's from like the US. So growing up, my mom was saying she was bullied a lot for being like Mexican or being like darker because like
Yeah.
she went to school in like LA, and I guess it was like with a bunch of white kids, and she would get bullied. And so when we were growing up, my dad was like just like let the girls like learn English and stuff like that, like they don't have to worry about, I guess, trying to figure out like which language to use. And
Yeah.
so like yeah, I mean we were like 2, so like we're talking and stuff like that. And so it was just easier to teach us English because everyone around us spoke English. But
Yeah.
my mom's side, they speak a lot of Spanish. Like my grandma, she only speaks Spanish. And so even now, like I'll have trouble like talking with her, and like I took Spanish so I can like communicate her like with her and like talk to her a little more. But even then, like I don't remember. So a lot of it is just like stuff that I'll pick up, but I know there's also like the slang and stuff. Like people say different, like have different sayings or different words for like the same word. And I was like, that's so hard. Like it's so interesting depending on like what part of Mexico, or if you're from like a different country that speaks Spanish, or they have like, different translations for it. So
Yeah.
like when I hear it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know that word could be used for like this simple word, and and it has like different endings or like just different like sounds, and I think it's cool.
I feel like everybody, like, regardless if you are in an area, I believe, like, to say the United States,
Hmm.
regardless if you have your own language natively, I'd say just learn everything because, especially as we are coming to this future new era,
Hmm.
everything is just being appreciated, regardless of it being like something that used to be a minority type of thing,
Yeah.
like a minority downgrade. Apparently, now if anything, if you know Spanish and English, I got if anything, you're considered more educated. I believe,
Yeah, like
like you
more
have more
knowledgeable
benefits.
essentially, because like I know like sometimes like I'll be at work and some people like some of my coworkers, they don't know Spanish,
And I'm like, I know enough Spanish like to take an order at work, but like if they ask too many questions, I'm like, oh man, like I was like, yeah, I need someone who's fluent. Like, and one of my managers, I didn't know he spoke Spanish. And I was like, oh, like, can you take this order, whatever? Like, I didn't know like what they were saying. And dude hops on the headset and he's like, oh, like no worries. Like, yeah, I got you, but in Spanish. And I was like, Kevin, I was like, where did this come from? And he was like, oh yeah, I know Spanish. And I was like, for me, that puts him like on a higher level of like respect for me because I was like, yo, I didn't know. And he just like pulled it out of his pocket and he was like, no, it's okay if you don't know, like it's like I got you. But I
Yeah,
want to
hey,
be able to
shout
be
out to Kevin.
yeah, shout out to Kevin, my manager. He's so cool. I want to be like that person, to like, hey, and you just see like the kind of like relief in someone's face like when someone's able to like level with them and understand what they're saying, like I want to be
Yeah,
able to like translate for that and be like the voice like, okay, they don't know, then like I got you, I can help you out right here,
step up.
because my mom used to do that too. She used to translate, so like, and she's fluent, she can read, write, speak, no problem. And she was like, I would translate for your grandma. We would go to like meetings and stuff, like to do stuff. And she was like, so I would help her with her taxes. Like she learned a lot of stuff really young. And so that's why she thinks like she thought it was so important for us. But then my dad was like, no, like we don't want to confuse the girls. And I was like, dude, I could have been in like AP Spanish or something, or like, or just like be able to like, I guess communicate with more people. That's where I
Yeah,
get a little like I'm missing out because there's so much that I could be learning from other people, but then there's like that language barrier like holding me back.
yeah.
You know, because
No,
like
it's fun.
everyone's got knowledge that like knows a little more than like the next person, or like they have their own take on something, but I'll never get that take because of that barrier.
Especially within music, like
Yeah, like
with
that's
Chicano
like
Batman, they sing
in
every
Spanish.
Spanish, English. It's like personally, I'm vibing to it, and then there's Gabby who's like, "Wait, what do you say?" Nah,
Yeah.
trying
You know,
to translate.
yeah, like like, and I don't want to have to be like pulling up Google Translate in the middle of the show, but like it happens. So it's
That's
just it's so interesting to see. And my friend was saying like another thing too, because he was like I know he's been like down and out because he like broke up with his girlfriend like a while back, but he was like, now I get to like simp to music in like two languages and stuff like
it's
that.
hilarious.
You get to like simp to like double the songs. And I was like,
Oh
dang. I was
yeah,
like, dude, but like it's true. Like you get to enjoy more music
yeah,
because you understand it. Or even like with
yeah,
like different like languages and like their own music and like how they produce it and how they write it, and it's really like a big thing. And I think like music is like a really good like way to like communicate with people, like just to kind of like get a read on someone. Yeah, like, hey, what type of music are you into? And like they tell you, and you're like, oh, okay, like maybe I'll get along with them. Like regardless, like play a song, cool, like you're chilling. That's why I really like this podcast where like we can like kind of like talk and just kind of like hash it out on like some music I like. I know we both like this band, like this album, and then like you have like your music that you bring to the table, and then like I'll have like how I brought like other stuff, and it's just really cool to talk about.
Music is unity.
Yeah, it's like
It brings people
universal,
together. Hell yeah.
and so
It's funny you say universal because I don't know about you, but personally, I listen to like other language music. Like there are times you can find me listening to like K-pop, J-pop, and I'm just like dancing and I mean enjoying it really.
mhm.
And in reality, I'm like, damn, what are they talking about?
Yeah, like what are they saying? I know,
or
like
how,
those like K-pop fans too, like they'll learn the language, and I was like, that's crazy. I was like, that's really cool
yeah,
though. Like,
there's
I
a
was
lot
like,
of people that
totally cool.
learn from music.
Yeah, like
Like I know for sure other people like in the countries, if they are want to like learn English, I know a lot of people just turn to music and just
yeah,
learn from there.
yeah. I think that's super interesting because like you could sing a song in like English or they have like karaoke and stuff like that. But like, do you know what you're saying? Or like,
Yeah,
you know, like some of them like or some songs like they sound or like some words in like in a different language like they'll sound similar and then like you're actually like saying like a bad word or something like that. And I was like, oh, like just because it's like a
yeah,
slight like mispronunciation or something like that, and then it's like a totally different word
yeah.
than what it's
That's
like
true.
supposed to be. And I'm just like, and it's
That
cool.
is true.
It's really cool though. Like honestly, like music, it just like kind of like unites a lot of people too. Like, you know, bands go like on European tours, they go on like South America tours, and, you know, like it's super cool. And like, or I know like a big band like Coldplay. Like Coldplay, I know they're touring right now. And like they just do like this, like they've been doing like the same, I think like album. Like I know my sister went to like the last one that they had. Let me see. Because I was like, I want to go to a Coldplay concert.
One day.
Oh, it says there. Did they release an album? It says Music of Spheres, their album. So maybe they
Yeah.
did release a new album. But honestly, like that's a band I've been listening to for like a while. And I heard they were really good live. But like they have like fans from like all over the world and like they know the songs in like English.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with a different episode, different album, different artist. I'm Gabby,
I'm Brian.
and this has been Soundwave.